everyone. Hello from UC Riverside. I'm not very sure if you can hear me, but I did receive an email from your counselor that you actually see us. Hi, how are you? So my name is Olivia Chen, and I'm really excited to be doing this live presentation for Sierra Canyon School, and I'm one of the admission counselors here at UC Riverside, and today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about UCR and also about the UC system in general and what it is to be a UC Riverside student, what it is to be on campus and be a student here. And at the very end, I will also open it up for questions. You can type your questions on the computer and I'll be able to see them live, and I'll also give you my contact information at the very end, so if you have any questions about UC Riverside or about applying to the UC schools, you're always welcome to contact me and my team. So to get started, just to give you a little bit background about the UC schools, why the University of California schools, and why you should be thinking about applying to the UC schools. Now, with the UC schools, I like to usually think of us as one big family of 9 different brothers and sisters. You probably know of or 9 brothers or sisters, however you want to call us. And our oldest brother is UC Berkeley, and also other older brothers that you might be familiar with, UCLA, as well as UC Davis. UC Riverside is actually a fairly younger campus. Now, all the UC schools together, collectively, we teach over 700 different majors, everything from engineering to humanities to social sciences. So there's a lot of options for you to choose from when you're choosing a UC school. And one of the unique things about the UC schools is that we're research universities. What is it to be a research university? The research university is your professors are not only teaching you classes, but they're also conducting research. They're at the forefront of new ideas. So I like to see our professors as being the rock stars in their fields. They're not only discovering cures for cancer, but they're also discovering new ways of doing things, of developing new energies for California, or discovering new ways of how to market online products on Facebook and other places online. So our professors are discovering new ways of doing things, and our students, all of our undergraduate and graduate students, are able to participate in that. And that's why Research University is always very exciting, because there's always something new to discover. The UC schools are also public schools, so we provide a public service, and all of our students are also encouraged to give back to California and give back to their communities. All of our students are very, very active in their campuses. At UC Riverside, we are one of the very few universities that have had the most community service hours collectively completed. So we're not only concerned about studying, we're not only concerned about having fun on campus, but we're also very concerned about giving back to our communities and making sure that we're making a difference in the world. Now, the UC schools, we're also globally recognized. So we're not only known in California for being at the forefront of new ideas, of being a wonderful research university, but also world-renowned and world-recognized. Of all the UC campuses collectively, we've had 58 Nobel Prize winners, and we're also always creating new patents, about 5,500 inventions about a year. That's in total, and that's average about 3 inventions per day. So there's a lot of amazing inventors, investigators, researchers here on campus. And then there's also more than 600 startup companies that have been formed around UC campuses. I'm pretty sure that many of you are probably familiar with Apple products, just to give you an idea. Apple products, iPhones, iPods. Did you know that actually one of the founders of Apple actually graduated from the UC schools? So we're not only, our students are not only studying at the UC campuses, the people that you're studying with eventually will become creators and inventors and people that will create startups like Apple in the future. Now, it's kind of hard to choose a UC campus because there's so many of us. We're all the way from Northern California to Southern California. And also think about, depending on which location you're interested in. One of the tips that we usually give to our students when you're thinking about the UC campuses is to think about the major. Most of the UC campuses offer very similar majors, and also some of us offer very specialized majors. At UC Riverside, we offer one of the biggest business business programs in the UC system, and we're also at the forefront of nanotechnology, genomics, science as well, because we have a medical school here at UCR. When you're thinking about the UC campuses, don't only think about one UC campus as being the top school that you want to go to. Always have your second choice and your third choice, because we want to make sure that you expand your options, increase your chances of admission. Think also about the location. Do you like a larger campus? Do you like a smaller campus? Where is it located in? The weather will also have a factor in your decision, because Northern California tends to be a little bit cooler, a little bit foggier, versus Southern California tends to be warmer and sunnier. So all these things, when you think about the UC campuses, it's important for you to keep in the back of your head. And I encourage you to also visit the UC campuses. All of us have very, very different fields. It feels very different to be at a campus versus to actually knowing about it. So whenever you have a chance, visit the UC campus and talk to some of our students, because 100% of the time you will see that a student from UCLA is very different from a student at UC Berkeley or UC Riverside. So if you have a chance, come and visit us, and we welcome you here on campus. Now, we've talked a little bit about the UC system, about all the different researchers that are available, opportunities available at the UC school. Now, let me talk to you a little bit about UC Riverside. And I really, really love my campus because I have a lot of loyalty for UC Riverside. We are one of the, like I said, one of the younger campuses. We're actually located really close to Los Angeles. It's about an hour from LA. It's east of us, east of LA. And we're located in the city of Riverside. And one quick tip right here is that, one quick fact is that all UC schools are named after the cities where they're located. So UC Riverside is located in the city of Riverside. Riverside is has been voted one of the most intelligent communities here in the United States. This is based on the 2012 survey, and so Riverside is at the forefront of almost everything in nanotechnology, business, and technology, computer science. So there's a lot happening here in Riverside. A lot of people don't usually know about this, and we are surrounded by beautiful mountains, the beautiful Box Spring Mountains. So there's a lot of outdoor activities, from hiking all the way to skydiving. There's a lot of exciting opportunities here at UCR, not only in terms of studying, but also in outdoor activities. So like I said, we're fairly young, about 60 years old, and our campus is fairly large, but very small in terms of its student population. We're about 1,200 acres large, but our student population is about 21,000 students in total. Now, UCR prides itself in being a mainly undergraduate campus, so a lot of your professors will be working very, very closely with you. About 18,000 to 19,000 of our students are all undergraduate students. And one of the things that we like to talk about is the research opportunities and the internship opportunities that our professors are giving to our students, because the fact is most of our students are undergraduate students. And what makes UCR unique, and I mentioned it many, many times, nanotechnology, genomics, business, we're at the forefront of many of these many of these fields, and we're creating new inventions and new ideas that many of our students, undergraduate students, are becoming part of. And at UCR, academics is obviously one of the first things that we like to highlight. We have over 100 different majors at UCR that you can choose from. And I like to joke that we encourage our students to double major. Some of our students force themselves to do a little bit more. They triple major, they quadruple major. Well, obviously don't expect to graduate in 4 years, but we encourage our students to do more, to explore different ideas. And if you have an interest in, let's say science, but you're also very keen on arts, we encourage our students to do double majors, or maybe even minors. Now, UCR, because we're part of the UC system, we're also a research institution. So, like I said, research is a very, very exciting part of undergraduate education. Just to give you an example, one of our professors, her name is Cheryl Hayashi, she only studies spider silk and the strength of spider silk. And her research is actually focused on how spider silk can be incorporated into daily items like clothing and armor. But it's her goal eventually in the future to be able to allow human beings to hang from spider silk, just very much like Spider-Man hangs from spider silk. And so that's one of the things that our researchers are doing here at UCR, and our students are able to participate in all of that. And so this is just to highlight at some of the majors that we have here at UCR. I like to see us as being kind of like Harry Potter and the 4 different colleges. It's kind of like the houses in Harry Potter. You have Gryffindor and Slytherin. It's kind of very much like that. So we're housed under 4 different colleges: College of Humanities and Arts and Social Sciences, College of Natural and Agricultural Sciences, our School of Business Administration, and our Bournes College of Engineering. And you will be surprised that at each one of these colleges, they have their own traditions, and at the very beginning of the year during orientation, they teach you all the different things and the history of each of the colleges. Just like I said, it's very much like Harry Potter. And aside from the academics, you're probably interested in knowing what student life is at UCR. And one of the things that I'm really proud of is our student organizations. We have over 300 student organizations at UCR, and we have a lot of leadership positions and workshops that are continuously held throughout the year to encourage our students to become just more than great students in the classroom, but also outside of it. One of the most unique clubs that I've found so far at UCR is the cosplay club. If you're into anime, Japanese anime and manga, many of the anime and manga people who are interested in Japanese anime will try to dress up as their characters, kind of like Halloween. So one of the clubs at UCR is only strictly for cosplaying. But there's also a lot of other activities on campus, other clubs and activities. We have over 40 different Greek sororities and fraternities that you can also be part of. We also have a lot of academic clubs as well as entertainment clubs. And at UCR, one of the highlights of UC Riverside is that we have 4 different concerts throughout the year, and they're completely free for our students. Because we're really close to Coachella Valley, the Coachella Music Festival happens once every year. It's over a span of 2 weeks. A lot of the artists, I could tell you, about 80 to 90% of the time, those artists that will be playing and headlining in Coachella Music Festival will be coming to UCR to play for our students. A few years ago, we had Maroon 5 on campus. Last year, we had 2 Chainz. If you actually see Foster the People, their Pump Up Cake videos were actually filmed here on campus. So we're not only concerned about the student organizations, there's also a lot of activities that are happening here on campus that our students are actively participating in. And obviously there's also honor societies, and at UCR, like I said, we're a very active campus. We have a student office here on campus that only specializes in outdoor activities. So you pay maybe $5 to $10 to actually learn how to snowboard, or learn how to surf, or go hiking up in Yosemite. So all these activities are happening throughout the year because we want to make sure that our students are not only involved in the classroom, but also outside of it. UC Riverside is also an NCAA Division I school. We have over 17 different sports, women's sports to men's sports. We don't have football at UCR, but our most well-known sports are probably basketball as well as track and field. And so if you're interested in playing for UCR, we have athletic scholarships available. But if you're like me, who is not very good at sports, you can also cheer on the sidelines. We're known as the Highlanders, and I'll teach you actually. We're known because Riverside starts with an R. This is actually what it is to be when you go to one of our games. You have to show the R sign, and we're known as the Highlanders. At UCR, we also have on-campus housing, and that's probably one of the many questions that our students usually have on the back of their heads when they're thinking about a college campus. Now, UC Riverside, we have over 3 different residence halls. We're building 2 additional ones, so you have a lot more options available. We guarantee housing for the first 2 years for freshman students, and most of our students actually stay on campus. If you don't actually like staying on campus, most of the time students during their 3rd year, their junior year, and their senior years to get together with their friends and live in campus apartments that are within walking distance and biking distance from the campus. Now, aside from just the involvement, the academics, housing opportunities on campus, we also have opportunities outside of UCR. And we love to promote our study abroad programs at UCR, known as Education Abroad Programs, or EAP. There's over 35 countries that you can choose from, all the way from Europe to Asia to South America. Western Europe tends to be quite a popular destination, but we're seeing a lot of students going to Thailand, Brazil, major countries that a lot of students are usually not really thinking about. We also have the UCDC Sacramento Center at UC within the United States. So if you're interested in politics and international relations and global affairs, we actually have internships that we can line up for our students in Sacramento as well as in DC. And in Washington, DC, UC system actually owns a house. So a lot of the students who are interested in doing internships in Washington, DC can actually live in the UC housing, and you get to meet students from other UC campuses as well. And another question that we get a lot from our students is whether you can actually take classes in another UC school. And yes, that is possible. You can take classes in another nearby or maybe even a further away UC campus up to a quarter in a year. So you can get to experience life outside of UCR as well. At UCR, we're also very interested in having our students do internships, employment opportunities. We have a career center that has over 200 career events during a year. So it's not only about getting internships, but also thinking about your future. Companies like Google, MTV, SoCal Edison, Northrop Grumman have all come to our campus to actually recruit our students. And you're also earning money while you're here on campus, and also using your education, putting your education to good use. I think this is about the end of my presentation. I do have a lot of other information that you can eventually find also on the web at UCR if you're interested in applying to the UC schools. One thing about the UC schools is that all of us have the same admission requirements. We're looking at A through G courses that you've completed, and also we're concerned about your GPA, how well you're doing in class. We're also looking that you've taken the SAT and the ACT at the very end of your by December of your senior year. Just to give you an idea of what it is to apply to UCR, this is the application timeline. Usually applications are due right around now, November 1st to November 30th, and you hear back from our campuses usually by March and May. Through May. UC Riverside makes it a very a priority to actually let our students know early on when admission decisions have been made, usually during February. And I'll open it up for questions and also put up my contact information here. So if you have any questions about applying to UC Riverside or any of the UC schools, you're more than welcome to contact us here at UC Riverside. We always pick up our phone calls. So if you call, you always get a live person. So I'll open it up for questions. You're welcome to type it in the box. I think it's kind of down there located underneath the presentation box. Yeah, and any questions that you may have about UCR, about the UC system, you're welcome to ask. Okay, so I have two questions. Do you recommend us to take the SAT math, or is AP test in math enough? Okay. SAT 2s are not required to apply to any of the UCs. However, if you're thinking about going into sciences, into engineering, I highly recommend you that you take the SAT 2, either in math or in such as calculus, or physics or chemistry, depending on the major that you're thinking about. Again, UCs are not requiring SAT 2 subject tests, but if you're going into science and engineering, I highly recommend it. Now, is AP test in math enough? Obviously, it will be looked at favorably if you're taking AP math. But again, if you want to really stand out from other students, you can also go ahead and take the SAT 2 math. We just want to make sure that you're standing out from other students by, setting yourself apart by doing other exams as well, showing to admission counselors that you are ready for your major, that you're well academically prepared. Obviously, make sure that you are also within your limit. I don't want anyone stressing out or working way too hard that your grades from high school are getting affected. So know your own limit. If you feel that AP math is sufficient, that's also good. But if you want to go ahead and take SAT 2 math, it will also look very good on your application. Now, the other question that I got was, how important are SAT scores? At the UC level, we're not only concerned about your SAT scores, we're also looking at other things such as your grades, your high school history, as well as other extracurricular activities that you've had, leadership position, and your personal statements. One of the things is, depending on the campus, we're looking at different things. But I would say SAT scores are important, but it's not the only thing that we're looking at. So we want to make sure that students are strong in many different areas. And primarily, we're very, very concerned about you as a student and how well you are going to be successful when you get to college. So we're looking at not only success in terms of academics right now, if you're strong in academics, but we're also looking whether you have the maturity to eventually go into college and be able to finish and persist throughout your 4 years. And the other question that I got is it too late to take SATs in January? Unfortunately, yes, it will be a little bit too late. If you're a senior right now, if you're thinking about applying to the UC schools, we're looking that you've completed your SATs by December of your senior year. Your scores can arrive a little bit later than that, but your test date has to be by December of your senior year. If there's a test date available on the 31st of December, then you can go ahead and register for that December 31st test. But I don't think there's anything available right now. I think there's the deadline has already passed to register for SATs. Okay. So I also received a question about the TOEFL scores. Now, is TOEFL score helpful if I do not do well on the SATs? Now, for my international students, if your native language is not English, and if you have started school in the United States after 10th grade, then the TOEFL scores are required. Now, the TOEFL exams are separate from the SAT exams. The TOEFL will be looked at to make sure that you're proficient, that you're okay in English, that you are strong enough in English in order to do well in school. Now, if you don't do well in the SATs, there really isn't a failing grade in SATs. Obviously, you want to do as well, as good as possible in your SATs to increase your chances of getting into one of the UCs. But again, that's not the only thing that we're looking at. Now, going back to the TOEFL, like I said, let me repeat what I just said. If you have started school after 10th grade in the United States, then you do need to take the TOEFL. The TOEFL is required. The minimum TOEFL score that we're looking for at the UC level is an 80 on the internet-based test. Now, one of the tips that I usually give to our students is, if you take the SAT first before taking the TOEFL, and you score in the SAT writing section at least 560, then you don't need to take the TOEFL. Again, SAT writing portion, if you score at least 560, then it satisfied the English requirement, you don't need to take the TOEFL. Now, if you did not score at least 560 on the SAT writing section, then you are required to take the TOEFL. Again, minimum TOEFL score is an 80, and that's only applied to students that have started school after high school in the United States after 10th grade. Now, if you came to the US in the 10th grade, then you don't need to submit your TOEFL scores. Thank you so much, guys. I'm sorry I kept you a little bit longer. Hopefully this webinar was helpful for you. Again, if you have any questions, you're welcome to contact me. And thank you so much, Sergio. Thank you, Sierra Canyon, for allowing us to do this presentation. Hopefully in the future we'll be able to come visit your school. Thank you so much and have a great day. Bye.